Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing okay today and that you're ready for some more A Requiem for Innocence. My god, it feels so weird to be back here. It's been a while. I've been missing doing this actually, so it feels great to be back, but it also feels very, very strange. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a bit nervous to be honest. Strangely enough, it's almost like I'm back at like square one, starting from the beginning, which I know isn't true, but it's like, oh, do I know how to do this? How do you do this again? So yeah, it's a bit weird, but very great to be back also. I am looking forward to keep hanging out with you guys and also to keep playing this game also. That's how you know you had a good vacation? Yeah, that is true. I had a very good vacation. I was gone for 2 weeks. The first week wasn't very much vacation, it was work, and I ended up becoming sick at the last day of work as well. But luckily for me it wasn't too bad, so I got well quite soon again, so I could still enjoy my first vacation week, and it has been a very nice week. Feels a lot longer than just 1 week actually. I just realized today is like 1 week that I have been off work, and it's like, oh really? But we had a lot of fun. I mean, most of you guys who were with me are in the chat, but if anyone is not part of that group here, I don't see how many of you guys are here right now. I tend to not look at the numbers because that stresses me out. So if there is anyone here who isn't part of my like Arab friend group, hello to you. And well, I did enjoy a good time with my friends. We went on different adventures and just enjoyed each other's company. And it was great to finally meet 2 new friends that I have only like met online before, to meet them live in the flesh. It was amazing, really. It was a great experience, and I'm very, very happy about the whole week. I hope you guys feel the same. Hi Quill, hi. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been working, I've been sick, and I have been enjoying a fantastic vacation week. And now I feel... I would want to say that I feel refreshed and ready. Scratch the refreshed part, I'm definitely not refreshed. I'm a huge introvert. I don't think anyone really understands how much of an introvert I actually am. Like, my social battery needs a lot of time to recharge, and yeah, I'm still not quite recharged after having been social for several days in a row. But yeah, I have still vacation, so it doesn't really matter. I can sleep after this, so yeah. Yeah, it was a great visit, yeah. I'm glad you feel that way, Quill. I enjoyed it very much as well. So yeah. I hope everyone else also has had a very nice time. And I hope that we will all continue to have a good time today. We are going to dive into our sad story again. Last time we got to see Jacopo almost being assassinated by Requiem, but it ended up being Requiem who died instead. And then there were also a lot of different assassination attempts. Odilon died, his consul, which basically like triggered his fear and paranoia and set him on the path to become the lord that we know from the main game. And we ended off with where did we end off? We ended off with Jacopo sending off Yukimasa to retrieve the lakeside witch, who we we all know who that is. So yeah, and I do think that Yukimasa was coming back when we ended, so yeah. Yeah, I did decide to watch it myself yesterday too, but it was fun, and since it was only movie watching, it was not too taxing for me, so I enjoy that too. I really did, so no worries. But I am going to be a bit antisocial for a while now, I feel. I mean, I'm going to stream. That's sort of social, but it's not really the same. So, since it's only me talking. So yeah. But I enjoy the movie watching as well, so don't worry. Thank God you can do the recap because I had forgotten where we were. Yeah, I sort of had to be honest. I had to like think really hard and be like, wait, where did we end up? But yeah, that's how it was. So yeah, I don't really have anything else, so I think we should just dive into the story again. I am excited. Okay, gonna make sure I have some sound. We don't have any game music right now, that's great. So I have no idea how deaf I'm going to become when the music starts. Oh well, we'll see. I think it should be good. Several days later than originally planned, the Far Eastern man finally arrived at the mansion. I had arranged to meet with him on the uppermost level of the observation tower on the church grounds. Well, this is very familiar, isn't it? We've seen this staircase a lot. About time. The man appeared before me, a burlap sack slung over his shoulder. I had ordered he use the sack, afraid he might be foolish enough to actually drag the old woman all the way here. There's your witch. He threw the bag to the ground, causing the woman inside to let out a muffled grunt. It didn't sound like an elderly woman's voice, though. This stench. Tell me you didn't harm her, dog. I smell blood. You only instructed me not to kill her. Mistakes were made. Limbs were lost. Damn it. I cleaned up all the blood I got on me. No one suspected anything. He's even further gone than I imagined. I should have been clearer in my instructions. Though I suppose it doesn't matter much. She's not going to live long either way. That you were able to immediately recognize it as the smell of blood says quite a bit, Lord. You have killed before, haven't you? Enough yapping. She is alive, yes? Of course. Fighting back a sigh, I tossed my gaze from the man to the bag. I felt slightly sorry for the woman, but the feeling didn't last long. I had seen too many bloodied, mangled bodies, both dead and alive, to be faced by one more. He crouched down to untie the bag. And a young girl came tumbling free. Oh, and the music too. Oh, this is so good and so, heartbreaking. It can't be. As soon as I saw her, I knew exactly who the girl was. It had been 4 years, but no length of time could wipe from my memory those patches on her face, or those breathtaking golden eyes. But why? How? What was she doing inside the bag? Why had I ordered her captured? How? How can I have done that? Morgana. She was pale as death, shaking visibly. Confusion seized me, a cloud of swirling darkness forming before my eyes. The first thought that came to mind was that he had gotten the wrong person. I had only ordered her capture because I thought a witch by the lake an old woman. If I had known she was a young girl, let alone her, I would have never given the command. But those thoughts led nowhere. I was simply trying to avoid facing reality, trying to place the blame on anyone but myself. I couldn't take back what had already been done. I couldn't change it. There she was, the girl who had once won my affection, lying in a ball on cold stone, with an arm missing. It didn't matter how we had gotten here, or what I had felt about her. There was no fixing what I had done. She looked up at me, at the source of the muttering above her. Her eyes were open almost frighteningly wide, and I wandered aimlessly, unfocused to the point I wasn't sure she was seeing anything at all. I felt a tinge of madness in her. "Is that you?" The words spilled from her lips, so soft they barely reached my ears. Hardly a trace of the beautiful singing voice from her memory remained. It was a hoarse and raspy, every sound seemingly laced with an unfathomably deep, pitch-black hatred for all existence. You remember me?" Would she even be able to recognize me anymore? How could I ever forget? Morgana. She remembered me. The days we spent together. What kind of person I had been. The boy who had refused to give up putting ointment on her face. All our friends. Those horribly unromantic encounters at the graveyard. Her taking shots at me taking shots at her. Did she really remember all the time we had shared? How could I ever forget? All the pain and humiliation you put me through. What? How could I ever forget the blood sabbats you so loved to hold? What? What was she talking about? Haven't had enough, have you? Leaving scars on every inch of my body wasn't enough for you. You haven't had your fill of my blood. I couldn't even begin to process the words I was hearing. They were little more than angry, meaningless shouts crashing into me. What the hell was she saying? Did she think I was someone else? Did she think I was him? That I was Barnier? No, Morgana. That wasn't me. I wasn't the man who had caused you so much agony. Look at the girl. You will claim you haven't caused her pain. You're the man who bound me, cut me up, called me a witch, and then tried to kill me. I haven't forgotten you even for a moment. No, I was the man who rescued you from him. I wanted to shout, but I couldn't gather the strength to force up a single word. Only a gasp of air came from my lips. It was like I had been robbed of my voice. I don't care how much my father preaches forgiveness. That's the one thing you'll never get from me. I despise you with all my soul. I revile you with every fiber of my being. For every scar you gave me, I give you a lifetime of hatred. No, Morgana! When I finally managed to produce a sound, it was barely more audible than a whisper. In a frenzy, I made to reach out for her, when I noticed a pair of narrow eyes glaring at me. I was not aware you knew the witch, Lord. Huh? Know her? I don't just know her. She's Morgana. She's the girl This man, the Lord, he destroyed me, mind and body. No. She's not wrong. That was another man. You have become that man to her. I am not Barnier. Do you hear yourself, boy? You're the rightful heir to the Barnier name, are you not? That's what you said when you stole the throne from me. This man ruined my life. How will you respond, boy? Will you say it wasn't you? Can you say it wasn't you? How will you convince her? She's clearly not in her right mind. Would she even understand it if you reveal the truth? Can you do that, knowing it won't make it through to her? Will you tell her you're nothing more than a slum rat, a usurper, that you deceived your way into power, that everything you built up over these years was all a lie, that you killed your former friends for nothing, that Odilon died for nothing, that you endured betrayal after betrayal for nothing? Do you have the spine to say it, boy? All the sacrifices you made, all the pain you suffered to make it here, could all come crumbling down the moment you do. What will it be, false lord? Is the girl worth it? Is sharing the truth with this half-dead girl on the brink of madness worth losing everything you worked so hard to accomplish? Make your choice. What's the matter, Lord? Yes, I know her. Or I knew her years ago. I see. What do you want to do then, Lord? You look sick. What do I want to do? Obviously, why on earth? This doesn't change anything. We lock the witch up and proceed as planned. Did I make this choice? Congratulations, boy. Thus concludes your inheritance of the name Lord Barnier. Ah, lovely, lovely times. It wasn't until I lost everything that I truly understood just how blessed I had been. You can't depart many pop sacks. Yeah, do that, Quill. I feel like it is well deserved. How much my time with them had allayed my wounded spirit, and how hard they had worked to mold me into an ordinary girl. But that was all gone now. I may not have said as much, but I liked it there. I was quite fond of the tranquility. I didn't want to lose it. I wanted to be happy as much as anyone else. I'd long lost track of how far I had walked. My legs were stiff and my knees didn't want to bend anymore. It took all my effort to remain upright, and I was certain I would never get back up if I did fall down. I still couldn't wrap my mind around what had happened. It was all so sudden, all so horribly senseless. It was so mind-bogglingly horrendous. Part of me refused to believe it was anything more than a bad dream. And that was what kept me walking, because if I did accept it as reality, I would lose what remained of my will to live. It was supposed to be a party. The girls got together to celebrate my birthday, making food and treats that, while hardly extravagant, were still a significant improvement over what we usually had. Everyone was laughing. Part of me was irritated by the whole affair, as I had never been comfortable in such lively environments. They were celebrating me, my birthday. I should have been overjoyed. Maybe this was my punishment for being so unappreciative. As soon as I stepped out, bandits raided the brothel. Had I stayed there but a few minutes longer, things likely would have turned out quite differently. Whether for better or worse, I couldn't begin to guess, but at the very least, I probably wouldn't be here alone. I could have gone with them to the next life. During the raid, a man grabbed me and I lost consciousness almost immediately after. When I awoke, I was in a foul-smelling carriage. People were packed in the carriage like livestock. There were dozens of them, every inch of usable space filled with a body. Looking out across the cramped space, I knew instinctively I was on my way to becoming a slave. Once, I had been sold off as a saint, a highly valuable commodity. But this time around, I was cheap, expendable labor. I was filled with an overwhelming emptiness as the realization struck. Something resembling sorrow wavered about in the void as well. But it wasn't a sadness for my own predicament. It broke my heart knowing I would never see them again. That everyone I had to thank for all those warm, peaceful days had either been killed or sold off. In time, the sadness swelled to form tears in my eyes. My whole life I had managed to endure without crying, and the first time I did, I shed tears for someone else. The man sitting next to me asked, "Why are you crying?" To which I answered, "I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to people very dear to me." But if that had been the end of our conversation, I wouldn't be here, hobbling down this endless road alone. I wouldn't be covered in so much blood. Sometime after I had responded, the man suddenly stood up and murdered the guards and slave traders. At first, the other slaves thought I was saved, and for a moment, I believed so too. He was a very curious-looking man, his eyes smaller and narrower than ours, his nose a different shape. I had never seen anyone who looked like him before. All I knew was that he wasn't from around here. The man, wielding a sword stolen from a guard, searched through the slave trader's clothes for keys to her shackles, which he gave to me and made me free his hands. "Hello, Elrin. Hi, welcome. I am very good, thank you. Been having a wonderful first vacation week, so I am feeling very good. How are you today?" Before proceeding to kill the slaves, I stood aghast as the massacre unfolded before me. Blood pooled at my feet, severed limbs were strewn about the carriage. Bodies piled up haphazardly, many having only had enough time for their eyes to go wide in shock before being cut down. "You okay? Put dinner in the oven and waiting for it to be ready? Okay, sounds nice. I had lunch just before this too, which was also nice. It's very, very hot though. Like, I'm melting." "It was wonderful, Quill, and it was especially wonderful because you were there, whatever you may say, so..." "Trying to get Fallout London to work without crashes every few minutes, that sounds rough. That's why I usually don't do PC games, or one of the reasons. The most important reason is that I feel more comfortable with console games, but computer crashes, yeah, doesn't really happen that much with consoles." Yeah, pouty goblin noises. Pat pat. Pat pat. Men, women, children, everyone equals at the end of his blade. The strange-looking man laughed as he slaughtered the slaves. He laughed and he laughed like he was having the time of his life. And when he was done, he stepped out of the carriage and wandered off, leaving me alone, the sole survivor. Poor Morgana. Fallout London is just quite a big mod for Fallout 4. It just came out, so it ought to have its problems, but okay, I see. Yeah, well, computer games. It's all I'm saying. I am so lost when it comes to computer games. You have no idea. I did play like The Sims with mods, so I know a bit about how big of a struggle it can be. I used to play it with my mom. My mom was like the person in charge of the mods, but sometimes we did have crashes because of it, and it was a pain, but yeah. But mostly I just play console games because I feel like it's simpler that way. And you can't even do modding, so you just have to settle for what you have. I had witnessed so much death in so short a time. Cruel, meaningless violence. Its victims powerless to resist. And here I stood among the bodies, left alive. For some inexplicable reason, left alive. The screams, the despair, the pleas, the death, the laughter. All reverberating inside my head. Oh, Father, who art in heaven, please give me your mercy. I cannot take it anymore. I pray, free me from this pain. My spirit was about at its breaking point. I was certain that I too would sink into the bottomless abyss if I kept all these emotions inside me much longer. I walked and walked and walked and walked. No food, no water. My exhaustion at its peak, my mind in a complete haze. When, off in the distance, I caught sight of a lake. So thirsty. Water. I began hobbling in the general direction of the lake, not caring that it took me off the main road. Bandits could have assailed me. Wild animals made me their prey. None of that mattered to me anymore. At least then I wouldn't have to walk anymore. But for better or worse, I made it to the lake unmolested. The water was clear as crystal, and seemed to sparkle like one as well. As soon as it was within reach, I dropped to my knees and drank, my thirst seemingly insatiable. The blood covering me had dried several days earlier, but its bitter stench lingered. So after a brief glance about my surroundings, I washed myself. The chill of the midwinter lake water, an occasional gust of wind, pierced me to my very bones. No one in their right mind would bathe in this weather. But common sense and the chattering of my teeth didn't stop me. I wanted only to be clean again, and the frigid water felt like it would strip everything away, leaving my body and spirit new and unsullied. Once I was satisfied, I came to the belated realization that a small cottage sat on the lakeside. Look at this, it looks so beautiful and serene. Like, if Jacopo didn't decide that he wanted a lakeside witch, she could have just been here, like, living a serene life. Like, no, it would probably not have been a happy life, because she is quite broken, her friends believe dead. But like, if Jacopo didn't intervene, her and Mel could have become friends, like, with time, I feel. But no, we had to ruin everything for her. There's smoke coming from the chimney. Maybe there's someone inside. It could be someone bad, though. Maybe it would be safer to stay away. But who knows when I might find someone else? Jacopo should have personally overseen the witch collection, given he is so responsible. Yeah, very true, very true. Then again, he is the Lord, so he can't really do that, but still. It would have changed a lot of things. Excuse me? Is anyone there? Hello? The door's unlocked. It was so warm inside. The heat from the fire seeped into my chill flesh, spreading slowly. I almost burst into tears again. Sitting before the fireplace was an old woman. A cauldron hung above the flames, bubbling with a curious colored liquid. "Ma'am?" The woman merely sat there, her head drooped. Slowly I approached her, half certain of what I would find, and placed my hand on her shoulder. She was dead, and I hardly so much as batted an eye at the sight of yet another corpse. In fact, she looked like she had passed quite peacefully by comparison. How blessed she was. There was no sign badness had been rooting through the cottage. Presumably, she had fallen asleep and passed away naturally while in the middle of concocting something. Looking around the room, I found myself surrounded by the countless items I couldn't begin to identify. Plants of all colors hanging from the ceiling to dry. Berries, crushed and stored in small glass bottles. Were I to guess, the old woman made her living off herbal medicines. Having gotten a good look around the room, I thought that perhaps I had been guided here. And if my father had led me to this place, he would not frown upon me for doing what was necessary to make use of it. So I dragged the old woman's corpse from the cottage and pushed it into the lake. If I didn't take up residence in the cottage, someone else eventually would. Or it would just be left to deteriorate. And I would rather take the opportunity bestowed upon me to have a place to rest my weary soul. As the woman's body sank into the clear lake, a realization struck me. I hadn't crossed myself. Very unrelated. That book I'm reading, very gruesome, even compared to book 1. Oh, I see. You will have to tell me more about that after stream. I am deadly curious, although a bit scared too. But yeah, do tell me. A few days after I moved into the cottage, a man came to the door. Apparently he had been a customer of the woman's, a witch by trade, and he was looking for more medicine. When I spoke to him through the door, he gave a short gasp and said, "Who are you? Where's the witch?" I am her granddaughter. She is not presently home." Huh. Never knew the old lady had kids. So, when's she gonna be back? Not for some time. Well, damn. You know much about herbs, girl? What? As long as I can get my medicine, I don't really care who supplies it. You, her, doesn't matter. I'll still pay. Yeah, perfect. Message me later, Quill. One moment, please. My knowledge of herbology was essentially non-existent, but if there was a possibility I could make a living off it, there was no reason for me not to try. I asked the man to give me as much information about the herbs he had been receiving, color, texture, smell, anything, and rummaged about until I found something that fit the description. The entire exchange occurred through the barely cracked door. The man paid me as promised, but I quickly realized that money wasn't of much use to me, as I had no intention of returning to the city. So I told him that, in the future, I would trade for supplies, which he happily agreed to. A few days later, another man called upon the cottage. But unlike the first man, he sounded crude and uncivilized. I didn't want to cut off a potential source of supplies, though, so I handed him the medicine he requested, but when I did, he let out a low snicker and said, "What do you say I look after you, girlie?" Ew. He then shoved his hand in through the crack in the door and grabbed my wrist. "You ain't fooling me. The hag's dead and it's just you, ain't it? Little girl like you needs someone to look after her. Make sure no bad men threaten you." Every word that came from his mouth oozed with sleaze. I knew what would happen if he got the door open. "Let go!" Whoa! I yanked my arm back with all my strength, slammed the door shut and set the bar. But even that wasn't enough to quell my uneasiness, so I put a chair against it as well. The man pounded on the door, each slam of his fist causing the whole room to vibrate. Overreact much, huh, girlie? Come on, open up! I still ain't paid you yet. Brought something real nice, too. Open up. I want you to have it. I don't need your payment. I'm never doing business with you again, so please get off my property. Wanna say that again? You got a lot of nerve, eh, little bitch? Open the damn door! You don't want to know what'll happen if you don't. You got more for sale than just bags of leaves, don't you? Open the fucking door! Just stay quiet, Morgana. The best way to handle people like him is to just not respond. Good for nothing, you. One day you'll learn your lesson. This world will eat a little girl like you right up. After giving the door one final parting kick, the man stormed off, loudly grumbling about how stupid and ungrateful I was all the while. I didn't deserve a word of his cursing, but at the same time I couldn't bring myself to be upset about it. He was right. The world would not be kind to a young girl living on her own, not so long as men like him roamed free. I paced before the fireplace, my mind racing. I can't be sure I'm safe anywhere, not even here. But going back to the city isn't an option. Not while Allure lives to keep throwing his blood sabbats. Everyone who might have protected me is gone. I have to make it on my own now. I'll have to be very careful about opening the door. I could be attacked again, or worse. I mean, most men would probably run as soon as they saw my face. But most doesn't mean all. There are some out there who will go after anyone. I can't let my guard down when I'm doing business, not even for a second. Man or woman, everyone is a potential threat. I'll make it on my own. I don't need anyone else. Me, and only me. Being out here has really shown me just how sheltered I was at the brothel. How kind everyone was. How peaceful my life was. I just want to go back. No, stop it, Morgana. You're stronger than that. I do find it interesting how similar, or not even similar, but yeah, sort of similar, Jacopo's and Morgana's experiences are. Although they, clearly have very different paths and different reasons for being in their situation. I do feel like their fear of people and the whole I need to do this alone, only me, I can't trust anyone, that experience they have in common, and I think it adds to the tragedy very much. So yeah. It looks like I'm playing with constant quick saves and crashes. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, go get your lunch. But yeah, so I do notice those similarities in their situations, although they live very different lives, obviously. So yeah. I put enough wood on the fire for it to last the whole night, then curled up into a ball and slept beside it. For the first time in my life, solitude frightened me. Morgana. What were you planning to Were you planning to sleep all day? Come on, you're not Jaren. Huh? About time. Good morning. What little of it remains, anyway. Oh, now she's dreaming about him. Oh, God. Ah! This game. Yeah, exactly, Lulu. When you have betrayed by enough people, True. Very true. What's with that look? Still waking up? What are you doing here? Excuse me? Why would I not be here? That doesn't answer my question. How did you even... A little bird told me where to find you. So you survived? Do I look dead to you? No, but still you... I thought you were killed during the raid. I may not be as good with a sword as someone, but you know I'm no pushover. I wasn't going to let a bunch of bandits get the best of me. What, were you worried? Seriously? And here I thought all you knew how to do was to damn me to the fires of hell. Was I worried? Of course I was, you oblivious dolt! I never actually meant it when I said you should be cast into hell. Of course I want to see you alive. Of course it would hurt me to lose you. I'm sorry, that was callous on me. I was afraid I would never see you again. I thought I had lost everything. Everyone. I was scared to death. Whoa. No need to cry. You're tougher than that. I'm not crying. If you say so. What do you mean, I'm tougher than that? What do you think I am? Made of stone? First you try to pretend I'm a normal girl, and now you act like I'm some kind of heartless creature. Make up your mind already. I'm sorry, really. You're a perfectly ordinary girl, Morgana. Can you say that looking at my face? I'm looking at it right now. Even though I'm a mean-spirited, bitter little girl? Even though you're a mean-spirited, bitter little girl. Though, it's nice you acknowledge it. Oh, burn in hell! Oh, well, yeah, I feel it too. It is rough. It is definitely rough. Say, I want to ask you something, and I want you to not call me weak for it this time. Let's hear it. Will you stay with me? I don't want to be alone anymore. It terrifies me. Yeah, absolutely. I'll stay right here forever. You know you won't be able to accomplish your dreams out here, right? And you're fine with that? You bet. You told me to stay, and stay I will. We live right on a lake, and there's some mountains nearby. All things considered, it's not a bad location. We can plant some crops, go fishing in the lake, sprawl out on the grass under the starry sky. Sounds like a pretty good life to me. And maybe sometimes you could sing a little song. And I'll sit there, listen quietly. Or if you want some accompaniment, I can procure some instruments. That sounds as nice to you as it does to me? Nothing. Seriously. What else could you want? How about... No. That's more than enough. Yes. If I could have a life like that, it would have made every misfortune in my life worth suffering. Holy crap, I got chills from that. Pain. Yeah, if she had opened up a bit before, still not sure how much it would have changed considering everything else that happened, but yeah. Hello, Martin. Welcome to the stream, and thank you, thank you. I'm doing my best. I'm having very much fun with the voice acting here, so thank you. That makes me very happy. I hope you will enjoy your stay here. He's not here. It was a dream. What else could it have been? He's dead. Just like everyone else. They all died in the raid. And even if he was alive, he wouldn't come looking for me. What a childish dream. Fight it, Morgana. You cannot cry over a simple dream. You are the daughter of God. Your tears are only to be shed for others, not yourself. I pounded my fist against the floor again and again and again, sobbing like a petulant child. You like my accent? Thank you. It is a Swedish accent. I had never cried like this before. Not as I witnessed men, women and children being slaughtered. Not when I was taken from my home. Not when I was chained up and tortured by the Lord. It wasn't until I realized just how much I needed that warmth, and that I would never have it again, that my spirit hit rock bottom. Finding and then losing happiness hurt worse than anything else. I wish I had never known happiness. I wish no one had ever shown me kindness. Not if it means I have to go through this. I wish I had never known what it was like to be normal. I could have just stayed a daughter of God my whole life. Then I wouldn't be feeling like this. I never knew crying like that. It was so exhausting. And I never want to experience it again. I want to go back to who I used to be. A saint. If I didn't know happiness, I wouldn't have to feel like this. I just have to forget it all. That part of my life. It never happened. No peace, no rest. Only trials from my father. That is all I have ever known. It's not hard. You just don't think about those years. Then you won't have to cry like this ever again. It's for the best. Oh, Quill, you never want to get me making those noises again. I'm sorry. I'm fine though. I'm fine. It's okay. It's only make-believe. Don't worry. I'm fine. I'm a bit warm. I'm melting, but I'm fine. It's my only choice. See? I was always right. I never was, and never will be normal. The only ones who will offer me salvation are God, or one of his angels. And so I did precisely that. I led a solitary life. I did all my business hidden behind the cottage door, and I sent away anyone who wasn't here for medicine. Once, a mounted man in armor rode up to the cottage. He looked like a knight, but I had no interest in getting involved with anyone who went around carrying weapons. I was responsible for my own safety, so I had to be careful about who I opened my door to. I had to be extra careful about who I dealt with. But I didn't feel sad or lonely about it. By making that my normal, there was nothing to lament, which meant old memories served no purpose but to cause me pain. So I endeavored to push them far, far away into the depths of my mind. I couldn't simply discard my memories of what the Lord had done to me, of course, or of all the wonderful people I had met at the brothel. But as time trekked on, they faded into almost nothing. I couldn't describe what any one person's voice sounded like, how they acted around me, what kind of person they were, the things we did together, what they looked like, what their names was, anything of importance. I knew good and well it was callous to forget about all the people that had shown me so much kindness and warmth. But I would never see them again, and thinking about them only brought me pain, so there was no point in remembering. It was all I could do to make it by. Nearly 4 years had passed since I assumed the role of the Lakeside Witch. My 16th birthday was approaching, but my age was perhaps the only thing I had in common with an ordinary teenage girl. Although if I had grown up like any other girl, having spent my childhood as a saint before being held captive by the Lord and made to witness countless people's deaths, that would probably mean there was something deeply wrong with me. By that point, a terrible cynicism had taken root in my heart. I built high walls around myself, keeping my contact with the outside world as terse and pragmatic as possible. With each passing day, my voice grew more monotonous, my interactions following a well-rehearsed script. You successfully wrenched my heart into full protect mode, a true testament to voice acting. Thank you, Quill. I appreciate it. I gave it my all. I do find it very, very difficult to do the crying and screaming noises because, well, first of all, I have neighbors, so I can't really give it too much. But at the same time, I don't want to sound too fake, so it's very hard to make those noises. So I'm happy that I made it through at least. My customers didn't make any attempt to force their way into my shell either. I began to suspect they might think me not a witch by trade, but that I actually had formed a pact with the devil and worked his dark magic. No one said as much, but I could sense what seemed to be fear in their voices when it came to me. On the other hand, I never had anyone else try to force themselves into the cottage like the man 4 years earlier, so I would say I had a rather peaceful life. Hello Kermit, welcome, welcome! I hope you will enjoy your time here. If you consider a life in which no one wanted anything to do with you peaceful, that is. I had also come to learn a fair bit of herbology. I could not make my own medicines, rather than just making do with what was already here when I moved in. Although a fair bit still amounted to almost nothing when compared to what my predecessor was capable of. Nonetheless, I had a relatively solid grasp on what herbs to use to treat different symptoms. Enough to formally assume the name of the Lakeside Witch at least. And so, time flowed on, uneventful and quiet. Until one day when a young man showed up at my door. What are you selling, Kermit? Is it anything interesting? Excuse me, is anyone home? I knew right away that it was a new customer. No one who had traded with me before bothered with such pleasantries anymore. They wanted the process to be quick and frictionless, and I preferred it that way as well. Who's there? When I responded from behind the door, he seemed to be taken aback. After several moments with no answer, I tensed up slightly and repeated the question. Ah! My sister has fallen very ill and she desperately needs medicine. He has a very pretty voice. I was told that the person who lives here is a skilled herbalist. Could I please get something to treat her? What are her symptoms? She's got an extremely high fever that won't come down. She has no appetite, she's only drinking water, and she can't get out of bed. Everyone always seems to be looking for medicine for themselves. I haven't had a customer like him in some time now. Let's see here. Health flask, stamina. Oh god. That's quite the stock you have. If you had... No, Quill, you cannot have my credit card. That is mine. I will allow you to do business. 6,000 souls. Do we have 6,000 souls? When did we acquire that? What aren't you telling me? Oh god. We're going to want to lower her fever first. After that, get her on a nutritious diet. I'm going to give you 2 medications. Give her the first while her fever is high, and the second after it's come down. Thank you very much. I am not your mom now, Quill. Or are you... my god, this conversation is getting weird fast, I feel. Yes, you're my maid. I know. Oh god. Yeah, 6,000 souls, don't ask exactly. I will allow you guys to do whatever you're doing in chat, and I will just pretend I don't see anything, okay? Make sure to not let YouTube see too much, okay? We don't want to get banned, okay? My god, I love you guys, you're awesome. When was the last time someone thanked me? No, Dura, I do not have a company card, sadly. And maybe that's for the best. Souls don't grow on trees? They don't? Are you sure? Are you sure? Have I been lied to my whole life? Oh my god. Here's your medicine. It's powdered, so mix it with some water and have your sister drink it. Are you not going to open the door any wider? Is that necessary? No, sorry. Just a second, let me get you your money. I take supplies for my services, not money. Oh, I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. This is all I have on me today. Would you maybe be willing to accept this as payment today? Very well. Is that a gold coin? Those herbs aren't worth nearly as much. Just who is this man? And what on earth is he doing here at a witcher's cottage? In any other situation, I wouldn't have even been tempted to look. What if he saw me? He would think me disgusting, ridicule me like everyone else. It didn't hurt knowing what people thought of me, but it was hardly pleasant hearing it vocalized either. But I would offer my mother's credit card and then add her to my bag. I see, I see. Well, I won't stop you. Oh, you're gonna leave now, Martin. Okay, I see. It was nice to meet you too. I hope you will drop by some other time. So, bye. Potion of milk affects milkiness and extra creamy weaknesses. It's almond milk. Oh god. I see. I see. And what if he decided to do something in that moment I dropped my guard? He could force the door open, have his way with me. He doesn't seem like that kind of man, though. Trust was about the furthest thing from my mind when interacting with people these days. I always remain on high alert, keeping a safe distance from everyone, no matter how good they appeared on the surface. But for some reason, I felt strangely comfortable in this young man's presence. At the time, I couldn't have explained why, but in retrospect, I imagine it was largely a result of his upbringing. He spoke in a clear, well-enunciated voice. He had a polite, friendly air about him, which I could feel even through the door. It wasn't the sort of well-mannered you could fake with a bit of practice, or the sort you encountered out in the middle of nowhere. Curiosity took hold of me. I had to know what he looked like. I wasn't going to throw the door open, of course, and I had no intention of inviting him in either. I just wanted to get a little peek at him through the crack in the door. So I opened it ever so slightly wider than usual when I reached out to take his payment. Ah. Oh no, he saw me. Wow, I didn't think you would be so young. I'd guess you were a little older. What? Thank you for doing business with me, and I'm sorry for not coming properly prepared. If I need any more, I'll be sure to bring supplies next time. Alright. Again, I really appreciate it. Have a nice day. You too. He saw my face, and he wasn't disgusted. He actually smiled. I was so caught off guard, I thought for a second that maybe my face had healed, so I ran over to the water basin and, a glimmer of hope in my heart, gazed in at my reflection. But the face looking back at me was the same as always, a grotesque, unsightly, patchy mess. Part of me was disappointed, but more than anything, I was flabbergasted by what had just happened. How could he smile at the sight of my face? For a split second, my mind slipped back in time 4 years. The man who had applied ointment to my face, he had never seemed disturbed by my appearance either. Welcome back, Eldrin. Welcome. Oh god, I see cursed things in chat. Do keep it family friendly, okay? At least a bit. Don't want to get banned by YouTube, please. So yeah. Not long afterward, the young man called upon my cottage again. He said that the medicine had briefly relieved his sister's symptoms, but that it had failed to actually cure what had ailed her. Herbal medicine required patience and persistence before its effect manifested, I informed him, to which he responded with a sad smile. He was a handsome young man, not far from what I imagined from his voice, and the smile suited him quite well. There was a distinct elegance emanating from him. Ragged clothing aside, he was about how I envisioned a fairy tale prince might look. Fairy tale prince, huh? You don't say. You don't say. Want a rejuvenation potion, please? I think I'll pass, honestly. Though I knew quite well those only existed in fiction. Real nobles were terrible, miserable, reprehensible people. After a few visits, we started having little conversations outside of our business transactions. He told me his name, Mel, as well as his sister's, Nellie, and I told him mine. Mel was 17, only a year older than me. Then one day, he invited me outside for a walk. It's not healthy to stay holed up inside all the time. We've got this beautiful lake right here. What do you say we take a little walk around the shoreline? Yeah, I don't really know, Eldrin. It is chaotic. I'm not entirely sure. I was going to turn him down, but my mouth seemed to disagree with my mind, and the next thing I knew, I was taking a walk with someone for the first time in years. Although wit might be something of a stretch, I kept a safe distance from him as we walked. Mel seemed disappointed with my unwillingness to get any closer, but I couldn't bring myself to trust him that much yet. Yeah, I made Quill my mod, but she's doing quite a good job, I would say, so... I say you're doing a good job, Quill. You are the perfect maid mod. Nonetheless, it was a momentous enough occasion that I felt justified describing it as such. I'm sure I made him uncomfortable on numerous occasions during our walks. To say I acted disagreeably would be an understatement. Anytime I closed the gap between us, I stepped a little further away. Every response I gave was curt, and I repeatedly shot him down whenever he started getting wistful or sentimental. The Morgana of 4 years prior might have been a little softer with him, a little more human. Maybe she would have given him a little smile or a pout instead. But that girl was long gone. I despised the humanity that had once started taking root in me, and I endeavored to be something different again. In one instance, he heard a robin chirping and said, "If I had wings like a bird, maybe I could be free too," to which I responded, "There is not a single creature living in this world that is free. Birds regularly get shot down by hunters or preyed on by larger birds. The idea that they are free is nothing more than man's short-sighted illusion." Sorry, I guess. No, I should be apologizing. I wasn't trying to attack you. I simply lack the ability to properly empathize with others. I do not understand people. So please, if I say anything that upsets you or makes you uncomfortable, don't assume that was my intention. Sure. Oh yeah, you can't swear on YouTube. That will probably get censored, I would feel, so yeah. What do you don't want a dead chicken I found on the pavement? Dead chicken on the pavement? I feel like I'm not really understanding the joke here, but a dead chicken on the pavement sounds not great, to be honest. Chicken eats grain, so I keep grain. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Quill. Maybe you're hiding it, or maybe you just don't know it yet, but I think you got more empathy than you're letting on. Surely you can say nothing affects you at all. You are human. At one point, that was true, though it was perhaps somewhat difficult for others to see. I felt great beauty in the world when I knelt before the gravestones, but such sentiments have long since been lost to me, so you don't have to be so closed off. Your voice is familiar, I swear if I know you I'm putting a disclaimer through my stomach. I don't think... I mean, we could know each other, but I seriously doubt that. I very much doubt it. I don't know a Kermit the Frog. I might not be able to do much for you, but I do want to get to know you better. I want to understand you. No, I do not live in Australia. I do not. So if you ever feel like talking about yourself, you just know that you got an eager pair of ears here. Not a student of biology either, so no. Okay? If there were ever someone who could understand me, if there were ever someone who could understand what I am now, who could empathize with me, who had been through trials as great as mine, they would not be human. What do you mean? that you would need to be far removed from any idea of humanity to have a chance at understanding me. No, what? I am not this. What? Dudor? What? Regardless, I do appreciate your kind words. Sure. So, out of curiosity, do you have anyone, really important to you in your life? Not at the moment. Does that mean you used to? I'd love to hear about them, if you don't mind. They're all long dead. 4 years ago, something unpleasant occurred, and as a result of that, I was forced to part ways with the people who taught me that humans have the capability of kindness. Oh, I'm sorry. Well then, if your sister's condition worsens again, come see me. Farewell. But hey, maybe we could walk a little slower next time, so we have more time to talk. I want to get to know you better. I'll consider it. Alright. So long. Bye. See you soon. I was conscious of how cold and distant I was being toward him, but I had no interest in changing anything. Not that I even knew how to anymore. I had never known particularly well how to choose the right words, the proper way to act in various circumstances. But what little knowledge I had possessed I long since lost. I assumed after the things I had said to him, Mel would never ask me on another walk again. But I was wrong. He did the very next time he came for medicine, and every time after that as well. Hey, so I was thinking, I bet you make a really good singer if you wanted. A singer? Yeah, you got this really pretty voice. I think it'd be nice if you tried using it to sing. I'm sorry, it's not my place to tell you what to do. You hardly talk. Why would I think you want to sing? I'm glad we're on the same page. Never again. Sorry about that, really. I am a humble tradesman. I don't care about the nervous enemy fanfiction up there. I only want to sell my crap. Oh god. Yeah, I'm not sure you are at the right place then, honestly. Since this is, well, not really a place for selling stuff. But you're welcome to hang, nonetheless. We are doing plenty of that here. Anyway, I wonder who first came up with the idea to sing. You can brighten someone's day or sour their mood with just the sound of your voice. Kinda amazing, don't you think? It's almost like magic. Oh, and there are battle songs too, for getting soldiers fired up for combat. Battle? Now, there's a word I never expected to hear from you. I mean, I am a guy. I admire anyone who has the strength to go to battle. I could never ever do it myself though. The sight of blood makes me sick, and I barely know which end of a sword you're supposed to grab. You're noble, aren't you? What need do you have for knowing how to use a sword? That's what I used to think too. But now I think I should have gotten training. I may not have been a soldier, but I needed to be strong. I could have avoided so much if I was. Yeah, I can imagine it being hard to find a streamer who plays along. I'm not really much into role-playing, so I'm sorry if I'm not like playing along too much, you know. But as I said, you're very welcome to hang here, but I'm probably not gonna roleplay very much here, so yeah. Then my business isn't my lady's voice. I did far too pleasant to turn my attention from. Yeah, thank you, Quill. Well, I'm sorry that you are getting ignored. That's not very nice either. I feel like you shouldn't ignore people in chat. But as I said, I'm not really into the whole role-playing kind of deal. So yeah, might not be the right stream for you, perhaps. But as I said, you are very welcome to be here and hang out if you want to. Just know that this is mostly going to be just relaxing, and like right now I'm reading a story, so this is what we're doing today. So yeah, that's this is just a very relaxing place to be. You got it from Skyrim, huh? That's interesting. I see. Oh, you're scared of VTubers. I see. Then I feel like that I must wonder, do you find me scary as well? The creepy mouth movements, I see. Well, can't say I agree. I think VTubers are quite cute, to be honest, but everyone's have different tastes, so yeah. It's the high-pitched giggling and creepy blink. I see, okay, yeah. Everyone have different tastes. And Nelly wouldn't have to live with a rundown shack in the middle. And Nelly wouldn't have to live in a rundown shack in the middle of nowhere. As I recall, he said once that he was forced from his house after a dispute over who the rightful heir was. High society sounds like endless fun. Ah, I'm sorry. I'm sure you don't care about any of this. No, you're fine. I'm the one who asked. Thanks. I want you to know, I really do appreciate it. It's nice to just be able to talk about this stuff to someone. You're naturally sociable. I'm sure you could find plenty of other people willing to listen. I don't get into town much, not even to run errands, so I'm still kind of an outsider. You're my only friend right now. I hope that wasn't too presumptuous of me. Call me whatever you like. Oh, thank goodness. We should do this more often, really. Talk more, get to know each other better, become better friends. To what end? No end, just, you know. Having friends is better than being alone. That's all. I see. I'll be heading back in now. See you again. Yeah, see you soon, Morgana. Little by little his words were getting closer to reaching the old me. Not enough to provoke an actual response, of course. But that wasn't his fault. I had locked myself up too deeply. I no longer knew how to express emotions, most especially those that resulted from human warmth. However, I had regained enough of something to feel a sort of nostalgia in my interactions with Mel, and I thought perhaps, with enough time, I could go back to who I had been 4 years prior. But shortly thereafter, he threw all that into the wind with a single utterance. I'll take anything at this point to make it better. I'll even take a miracle if I can get one. He appeared exhausted that day, much more than usual. His sister's condition had begun to worsen again. That one muttered word set off a spark in my mind. It sent me back in time, well beyond when I was taught humanity 4 years ago, to my very origin. I was the daughter of God. My blood had healing properties, and the instant I remembered that, there was only one course of action I could take. Without a moment's hesitation, I informed him that miracles did exist, that I had been born a saint, and that my blood had miraculous powers, that after leaving the village of my birth, my power had only ever been misused, first by the Lord for his sick banquets, then by me for letting it all as idle so long. Lay idle for so long. I can read. Now was the time for me to correct that. He was a kind-hearted young man who loved his sister, who deserved this blessing more than them. I told him everything. At first he was surprised, but never once did he accuse me of lying. He listened carefully and intently, taking in every word. And when I was finished, he said he believed me. He said he would entrust his sister's care to me. Mel's sister slept upon a simple bed. She was a sweet little girl who looked like she had been quite spirited if not for her ailment. And how Mel's request proceeded to unearth his cowardice. Yeah. I do enjoy that we're still having like calm, peaceful music here. Like, oh, this is sweet, this is fine, nothing is wrong. While everyone who knows the house in Fata Morgana knows that this is about to turn sour very quickly. Both she and her brother had beautiful flaxen hair. They looked as if they had been They looked as if they had both been yanked from a painting. Seeing them there, I wanted to do everything I could to help them. The calm before the storm, exactly, Quill. Exactly. To ensure their happiness. And I knew I had the ability to do so. No longer would I be the one receiving other charity. I could be the one giving it again. And so I made a new cut on my mostly healed arm. For the briefest of moments, a flash of him applying ointment appeared in my mind, but I quickly cast it off. The flaxen-haired girl showed signs of recovering as a result of my miracle. The boy came to my cottage, overjoyed to thank me. I was extremely proud of myself. I felt like for once I had actually saved someone's life. I had finally been able to use my gift to help someone truly good. After the miracle, though, he stopped referring to me as his friend. Understandably so. No one could think of themselves as equal with someone who performed miracles. Awe, fear, reverence, they were all feelings that came from the same place. An inability to think of me as a human who experienced the world the same way he did. He saw me as abnormal. I had always been fine with that. It was how it was supposed to be. Being different was what I had always wanted, and in some way, it was what had kept me going. So seeing him put more and more distance between us shouldn't have bothered me in the slightest. But I continued to offer his sister my blood, no matter how distant he grew. Eventually, he stopped inviting me on walks. But that didn't matter. I would serve my duty and perform miracles regardless. He would simply knock on my cottage door and say, my sister's fallen ill again. Would you come perform another miracle? I could hear the apprehension in his voice. No longer did he show me his gentle smile. No longer did we listen to the birds singing together. No longer was I the one being cold and distant. And no longer did he say, "See you again," when we parted ways. Back in my village, when everyone feared and revered me as a saint, it filled me with a childish sense of superiority. But there was no superiority now, only a prickling in the softened shell of my heart. I was no longer the child I had once been. I had changed. I had learned what warmth felt like. My memories of that time were vague and ethereal, but the feelings they had created lived on, deep within me. For a time, I had felt a warm familiarity around Mel, which only made me yearn for him to treat me like that way again. I wanted to be able to open up to someone once more. Though I never said as much out loud. If only she had. Like, I still feel like Mel would have, like, betrayed her because he is a freaking coward, but, like, maybe if he somewhat still saw her as a friend, maybe it could have been different. Yeah, poor Morgana, definitely. I'm looking at time. I do think it's about time to maybe take a little stretcher break because I'm feeling like I'm going to grow stuck in my chair otherwise, and I need to also refill my glass of water. So let's take a little stretch. Don't go too far because I want you here when I come back. But do take this time to stretch as well. It is good for you. So see each other again here soon. And I am back. Hello and welcome, Johanna. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I was having a little stretchy break, but now I am back and I am ready to continue. So I hope you guys feel ready for some story time. And my glass of water is refilled. Yeah, exactly. I went for a little BRB. And now I am back. So, let's continue with the story, shall we? Gloomy day after gloomy day passed, and then I received a new visitor. I asked them their business from behind the door, but they hesitated for a few moments before responding. Phone typing is so slow. I know the feeling. Although I'm slow on my keyboard as well. I'm a slow typer in general. Yeah, I only have a glass of water. It's quite a big glass, and usually it's fine. But when I go for longer streams, and especially like these visual novel streams. I say visual novels as if I have done other visual novels, but we only done this one. But especially when I stream this game and I get to read a lot, I get a more empty glass. Usually when I like stream Final Fantasy, it's I actually get water left after, so usually a glass is fine. But as I said, it's a quite big glass, so yeah. I asked them their business from behind the door, but they hesitated for a few moments before responding. My instincts told me that whoever it wasn't a noble boy. So I waited, perplexed and slightly on edge, for them to say something. And when they finally did, I was left aghast at what I heard. Are you the witch with the miracle blood? Why did he sound like the man who had slaughtered the slaves in the carriage, laughing all the while? What was he doing at my cottage? I thought he had wandered off somewhere, never to be seen again. I thought I was out of my life for good. Why? Why did he call me a witch? And how did he know my blood had powers? Had Mel told him? Or maybe his talkative little sister had gone running around, blabbing about it. I should have been clear with them, made absolutely certain they knew to keep their mouth shut. Please leave. It took all my strength to get those 2 words out without my voice shaking. I could hear the screams from 4 years ago echoing in my mind. I could see the limbs flying, the blood pooling at my feet. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it pulsing in my ears. Please stay away from my home. After all that time I had spent forgetting about everything, closing myself off, finally finding peace. Welcome back, Martin. Hello. I hope you will enjoy your second stay here. Very welcome. Why did this monster, who reminded me only of senseless violence and death, have to come back into my world? I never wanted to go through anything like that again. I am in need of your blood. Could you not spare me a little? I have nothing to spare for a man like you. My blood is only for the sick and needy. So please, go away. Stay away from me. I'm begging you. Get away from this place. You're a murderer. I want nothing to do with you. So please, just go away. I see you. I appeared in your recommendations. That's nice. That's very nice. I'm happy that I appear in people's recommendations. That's go YouTube algorithm, I guess. Well, you are very welcome back at least, so just enjoy. As you say. Is he gone? Oh, thank heavens. Lolly is always recommended. Thank you, Pia, thank you. My eyes. I feel like they're burning. No, Morgana, you have to be strong. You cannot let this get to you. Be strong. You have nothing to fear. It is very well deserved. Thank you, Phil. You guys have been so nice to me. Like, you have no idea how much it warms my heart. It just fills me with so much joy. Nothing to fear. No. Stop. Fight back. to cry again, but the moment fear released its grip on me, everything that had built up came pouring out in a hot stream. Tears soaked my face. I wiped and still had my hands came back wet. With each passing second, I found myself reverting into an ordinary, helpless little girl. No, that's what I had always been. My whole life, I had just been putting on airs, when in reality, I wasn't even strong enough to withstand a little fright. Even with the horrid man gone, I couldn't rest easy. I couldn't be sure if he was gone for good. Maybe he was just waiting for a more opportune moment to target me again. The following day, I took a brief walk with the noble boy, but I couldn't bring myself to talk to him about what had happened. With how much distance he was keeping between us, I doubted he would be willing to do anything to help. Oof. Yeah, about that. For 3 days and 3 nights I shook in terror, thinking, considering, speculating, wondering, hardly getting a wink of sleep. I was too anxious to sit still, so I paced in circles around the chair by the fireplace. It's too soon to be sure I'm safe. Can't go outside until I absolutely must. Not even just to get water from the lake. It could be waiting in the shadows to take my life. I'm not safe here anymore. I shouldn't have said anything about my powers. They've only ever brought me trouble. I should probably find somewhere else to live. But where? How far could I even get on my own? It could be out there, waiting for me to open the door. I will need help. Don't be a fool. No one's going to help me. The boy barely even wants to talk to me anymore. All I wanted was a quiet life. Is it him? Did he return? Calm yourself. He knocks harder than that. It's not him. Who's there? It's me. His sister needs more of my blood. I'm not here about Nelly today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. What? I want to talk things over. He's finally reconsidered. If he can treat me like a friend again, then maybe I could ask him. I want to talk to you too. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I opened the door without a second thought. I let my guard drop, because in my mind, the flaxen-haired boy briefly took the place of the slain man from the brothel. The man who had saved me from the terrible lord offered me his hand, guided me into the light. And here he was again to set me free, to take me away from this place, take me somewhere new. He had pulled me out of the darkest depths of despair, and here he was again, ready to offer me his hand, a glimmer of hope to cast away the shadows. So I reached out to take it, and my arm went tumbling to the ground, my hope following not far behind. My arm! Oh god, oh. Take it. That's your share. Is it bad that I know this line so well by now? Should last you long enough. Like, I don't even have to see the whole thing. Ugh. What do you mean take it? What do you mean? Why, my arm? Why you take it? Why, how could you betray me like that? How could you? I opened the door, you said I wanted to talk. What man doing here? Why would you bring him here? How could you do this to me? What does he mean your share? What is just easy for you to take the whole arm and keep coming back asking me for help? Is that what is it? I thought you were a good person. I thought I was a good person. I trusted you. I believed in you. I opened the door for you because I thought I wanted to talk. I trusted you. I trusted you. I thought you were a good person, a nice man, I would have given you and your sister as much blood as you needed. You just had to ask and I would have come to you. Didn't have to. Oh my god, this is painful. This is so painful. Nothing personal. I just need your blood. Without it, she'll lose her church. She needs the money. I need some way to getting enough money to keep her church running. So the Lord made me an offer. The Lord? Why him again? If I brought him the witch with the miracle blood, he would finance a whole new church for her. So don't take it personally. You get to be the sacrifice. To keep her church from collapsing. To keep her world from collapsing. So don't take it personally, witch. Cheers! Saint's blood and good fortune to all. You're a damn witch wearing a saint's skin. No, I'm not a witch. This is not dark. Yeah. You sure about that? After cutting off my left arm, the strange-looking man stuffed me into a sack and tied me up and threw me over his shoulder and carried me away somewhere, and while he was walking, he nodded at me over his shoulder, explaining where we were going. Apparently a new church run by someone called the Saintess, and he was going to give me my blood to patrons of the church, saying it was some kind of miracle elixir. But what was it this nameless nun doing calling herself a saintess when I was a real saint? And why did I have to be the witch sacrifice for the sake? It didn't make any sense. And most of all, why was the Lord involved? And why did that vicious, cruel, horrible, miserable man have to come back into my life? Why wouldn't he just leave me alone? Was that really so hard? Why he was already had his way with me? He had his terrible bank with his blood sabbaths already. What he did need more of my blood. Hadn't he already had enough? Did he find out I had real powers and so he decided to come back for more? Was that it? He could have just called me the saintess instead of her. He didn't have to make me into a witch. Oh, it's because of my face, isn't it? He wanted a pretty face to put in his brand new shirts, not an ugly scarred face like mine, but that's all he just... She's just a pretty... I can perform miracles, but I'm here with my arm cut off and I stuff it in a bag. Even slaves are treated better than this. All I wanted was a quiet life, but I have this power, so I just wanted to use it to help. That's all. Oh, Father, your trial is still great. I cannot bear it any... I wasn't bored to spend my whole life suffering. Yeah. Lolly on a sign of the second book. I'd say it's worse than Barney. Oh lord, that sounds... Then it must be really bad. And yes, Martin, I agree. Welcome to Fata Morgana. It is dark here. It is very dark here. Hello, Keg. Welcome to the stream. You are awesome and fantastic. I hope you will enjoy your stay here. About time. There's your witch. Tell me you didn't harm her, dog. I smell blood. You only instructed me not to kill her. Mistakes were made. Limbs were lost. I cleaned up all the blood I got on me. No one suspected anything. That you were able to immediately recognize the smell of blood says quite a bit, Lord. You have killed before, haven't you? Enough yapping. She is alive, yes? Of course. No tears. Now that's a good girl. It simply would have been the same if you cried and blubbered like a lowly slave or a whore. Dignified and saintly. That's what I need you to be. Welcome, witch. You'll be giving your blood to all my people now, not only me. Is that you? Oh, do you remember me? What an honor, a truly splendid honor. How could I ever forget? How could I ever forget? All the pain and humiliation you put me through. How could I ever forget the blood sabbats you so love to hold? I haven't had enough, have you? Leaving scars on every inch of my body wasn't enough for you. You haven't had your fill of my blood. I'm thrilled to know the great saint remembers the lavish parties I threw for her. Yeah, it is very cool to see Morgana's vision of this, although very sad and yeah, very sad as well. Hello, Senso. Welcome, welcome. I take it it left quite an impression then. You're the man who bound me, cut me up, called me a witch, and then tried to kill me. I haven't forgotten you for even a moment. That's splendid to hear. I'm sure you tried so very hard to get my memory aside. But you never could you? And you know what that means? That the scars are left all over you run deeper than anything else you ever experienced. Look at that face, so twisted and hideous. I bet you loathe me. That you'll never be able to forgive me. I don't care how much my father preaches forgiveness, that's the one thing you'll never get from me. I despise you with all my soul. I revile you with every fibre of my being. For every scar you gave me, I give you a lifetime of hatred. Never, you will never have my forgiveness. This man, the Lord, he destroyed me, mind and body. This man ruined my life. I see. So I'm the one who ruined your life. But why should that concern me? Your words are as insignificant as chirps of a dying robin. Scream and shout until your throat goes sore. It doesn't change anything. We lock the witch up and proceed as planned. Oh, the pain. Oh Father, God of heaven and earth, my life is become nothing, shattered and empty. Good day, Lord Bonnier. Not hungry. I need some time to rest, so don't bother me. Yes, sir. I make sure everyone knows. They are to stay away from my room. By your command, my lord. Why? Why was she the lakeside witch? How could this happen? There must be something I can do. Some way to fix this. How much longer I'm planning on going? I'm not sure. I'm waiting for a good place to stop. Haven't really felt it yet. I want to like see this part playing out at least. But not too much longer. I'm starting to feel a bit like stiff and sore, and my voice is going a bit tired. So a while more, but not too long. I feel. We'll see. No, don't fool yourself, you damn buffoon. There's no fixing that. Her arm's been cut off. Her mind broken. If only the Far Eastern dog hadn't been such a damn idiot. Then she might actually be in proper shape. Fucking fuck! I'm the one who gave the order. The only one to blame for this is me. I can spend all goddamn day regretting it, but there's no taking back what's already been done. Ah! God damn it! What the hell am I supposed to do? What can I do? I could set her free. And a doctor, yes. Find a good doctor. There's no getting her arm back, but he could at least patch her up. This is all my fault, so I'll do right by her, look after her myself, make sure she's taken care of for the rest of her life. Are you out of your mind, Jacopo? Why would she ever want to stay with you? Ah, damn it! I can't even stay focused. Ah! What is there to think about, boy? You already know what you must do. Get out of here, spirit! When will you learn your damn lesson and just stay dead, damn it? The last thing I need is a pathetic ghost constantly sticking its nose in my business. Strong words from the man who can't even keep his head in the presence of said pathetic ghost. Ugh! The answer is plain as day, boy. You proceed exactly as planned. Make witch's blood into a miracle elixir and distribute it at the church. You'll take in tithes, as well as winning the people's favors for supporting their new beloved church. It's a fine scheme. I'm impressed you came up with it, boy. Silence! That was before I knew she was the witch. What does it matter? The girl's going to be dead soon regardless. Progress and growth, it always comes at a price. You need simply accept the price has already been paid. Tell me, is the girl worth throwing the entire venture aside, knowing you'll lose all the goodwill you made to gain from it, and more? She's Morgana's. She's my... A child could tell you which has more value. You bear the weight of this entire land, boy. Don't try to cast that aside because you killed one little girl. She isn't dead. She's still... Surely you can't call that living. She's not... She is. And you killed her. I did not! There is no turning back. Why are you so upset about this, boy? Countless slaves have perished at your command. You had the slum rats who tried to bite you slaughtered. And only now are you concerned about another's life. Surely you're not still clinging to your naive sentimentality, are you? Oh, but she's different from those disposable sacks of flesh. She's dear to me. We have so many wonderful memories together. I love her. Enough. You come too far to step down from the throne. No matter how much you may have cared for the girl before, it's out of the question now. You cannot have her. When a nobleman marries, it's for political purposes. Be it connections, resources, appearances, always something to gain. Taking a nameless peasant girl will make you a laughingstock of the land. So lock her up and drain her until there's nothing left. Shut your damn mouth, accursed spirit! You don't have any idea what you're talking about. You don't know the first thing about how I feel about her. The things we've shared. Wait a minute. What's going on? How the hell do you know any of that? Took you long enough, boy. How did I not realize? You were never the kind of man to speak of progress and growth. That I wasn't. What the hell? What are you? I've already told you. I'm the curse known as the Lord of the Land. Or if you need me to put it in simple terms for your simple mind, I am your sickness. You're out of your mind. I am not sick. I'm not the one who's out of his mind, boy. This is a world of madness and disease, but not of spirits. The throne drives all who sits upon it to madness, power or sanity, A man can only have one. And all the faster will his grasp on his mind slip when he has no one at his side to shield him from his enemies. I am not Jean-Francois Bonnier, and there is no way for you to banish this spirit. Your mind is broken, on the verge of collapse, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. No. No, 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 no. You're lying. My mind is not broken. Jacopo, I am afraid to inform you that your mind is a little bit broken. Seeing ghosts is not usually a sign of being healthy. Just saying. Not judging you for it, but just saying. I am perfectly sane, said every silent inmate ever. Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, yeah. There's not a grain of madness in me. Tell me, Jacopo, is this the power you always sought? Is this what you spent day and night fighting to achieve? What? How are you? I thought you wanted power in order to protect those you cared most about. But here you are, using that power to destroy their lives. Or is power the only thing you care about protecting anymore? Shut up. Is that why I took up the blade for all those years ago? Enough. You don't have any place criticizing me. You're just a stupid child with his head in the clouds, who thinks he can become some kind of hero. If you hadn't been so foolish, I wouldn't be in this place at all. You're right. We chose the wrong path. And there's no way for us to get back on the right one any longer. This wasn't what I had wanted at all. The future I had dreamed of. The outcome I had hoped for. But who did I even have to explain that to? And who would even understand if I tried? There were walls as high as the eye could see on both sides of this path. Forward was the only way I could go. I had killed my old friends and comrades, lost everything along the way, but still I had marched on, because that was all I could do. And now, power was the only thing that remained in my hands. So I would make a despot of myself, bury all my feelings for her, and continue my march straight to hell. I had no other choice. Alright, and I think that is where we're going to end it today. With just pure sadness and despair, as always. Let's see, where's the button? There's the button. But yeah, feels great to be back at it, guys. And it's very nice to keep reading this story. I don't think we will have that many episodes left of this. I'm not sure how far we are from the ending. I'm thinking it might be like, I think we are close. I'm just not sure how close. And I also know that after the ending of this, there is a bunch of like extra stuff that is still connected to Requiem before we move on to reincarnation. So I'm thinking probably maybe 2 more episodes of Requiem at least. I think at least. I'm just guessing. So yeah. Super happy ending. Considering this is the prequel that leads into the main game, The House in Fata Morgana, I would say no. Okay, you have to dash. I see. We'll talk to you later, Quill. So thank you so much for being here and see you later. What else do I need to say? Yeah, as I said, super nice to be back at streaming. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Let's see, I'm streaming again this week on Thursday, Final Fantasy VII, and it's going to be the same time as today, so 13 GMT plus 2. So if you guys are interested in that, go and, well, hang out with me some more. I very much would appreciate it. I do enjoy hanging out with you guys a lot. So yeah, I am melting here. It is so hot, so I actually considering going to take a shower because I am just a puddle. It feels like summer is definitely here, especially in my apartment. Anyway guys, thank you for being here with me. It was lovely. I wish you all a wonderful day and I will see you guys next time. Bye everyone!